All right, everybody, welcome. EDGYTIM here and another EDGYZoom, and very happy, excited to bring in, I think he's the latest Wildcat commit. I'm not sure if they got one today or not, but I'm gonna call him the latest Northwestern Wildcat commit, Jackson Carsello out of Glenbrook North High School. And big fella, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me on and everything, and thank you again.
Um, Walk us through, I mean, your process. And it's funny, I went back and looked, and when I first talked to you, it kind of it didn't really get going until like late January. I mean, you got those first two offers, I think, from Ball State and Western Kentucky, and
Yes,
then
sir.
it just took off. So again, and I think part of your story, what makes it really interesting is, I think you told me you played at like 195 last year.
My sophomore year, yes,
Okay.
my sophomore year, and then this past my junior year, I played at about 235, 240, so about 30 pounds since then. So
And I think I joked at you at the time when I talked to you about, I don't know how you're able to have such hot recruiting stock in a pandemic. I mean, it was so rare. I mean, what kind of feedback were you getting? And just talk about all of a sudden that momentum just kept building and building and the offers kept coming in. It had to be, your head had to be spinning a little bit during that.
yes, sir, for sure. It was hard to believe that everything was going on, especially in such interesting times, and I was really not expecting such amazing things to really be happening throughout the entire process, especially again during the pandemic. And it was just nice and to kind of just hear and get acknowledged, I guess. And overall, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so it took a while before Northwestern got in. I think I want to say what it was like maybe about 10 days ago before they actually officially offered you. Um,
It was actually a week ago.
okay, so
Week ago today,
so
Thursday, right?
yeah, and I know that when I think actually again the first time I talked to, I asked about a dream school,
Mhm.
and that was one of the first names that you brought up. And where did that come from? Where does the connection for you and Northwestern? How does that happen? I mean, obviously you're what, 20 minutes from campus, so I get that, but where does that tie-in come in for you and your family with Northwestern?
The tie-in, so like you said, we're about 25 minutes from Northwestern itself. But so I always grew up going to Northwestern games at Ryan Field with my youth football team, the Junior Spartans, and
Yep.
just through all that, I really fell in love with just the atmosphere there. I thought it was just a really fun place. And as I got older, I started to understand more that it was actually a really great football program with a really great coaching staff with Coach Fitz, and just an unbelievable education as well. So it's just an amazing place overall.
And you also made that very clear very early on in your process that academics were going to play a very large role in your recruitment. And you stuck to your guns. When you start seeing offers come in from Northwestern, from Duke, I mean, I got to imagine that really moved the process forward for you when you saw those come in.
Yeah, yes, sir, for sure. It was really nice to get that acknowledgement for my hard work in the classroom from two, I don't know, top 10, but two very prestigious universities in Duke and Northwestern, and it was just unbelievable. Especially one being my dream school, and actually Duke. It was really awesome because I got the opportunity to talk to Johnny Shire, who coaches there
Yep.
now
Yep.
from my high school.
Yep.
Is there? And interesting enough, actually, Chris Collins, Northwestern. So there was kind of a cool connection there with
Yeah,
everything.
with Glenbrook North for sure. Um, who else? Who else did it come down to? I mean, Northwestern, obviously a dream school, really hard to say no to, which eventually you didn't. You ended up saying yes. Who else did you really look at and consider, Jackson?
Overall, definitely Duke. Just it has an unbelievable education, and that program is really great, especially with Coach Cutcliffe, and his reputation speaks for himself, having coached three Hall of Famers of the Manning brothers and Patrick Willis. And also Indiana was another. Indiana and Illinois, both Big Ten schools as well. Indiana, I really love the message they have there with Coach Allen. That LEO is really unbelievable, and I really like that a lot. And I also, Illinois had a really great relationship with the coaches, and it was just, they were all really great.
COVID and the impact really on your recruiting, which, as we talked about kind of jokingly, it helped you, seemed to help your recruiting, but as far as trying to get a better feel for schools and not being able to, quote unquote, get on the road and make visits, I mean, how much more difficult did it make it for you? I know that we talked about you taking different virtual visits and what have you, but I mean, how hard did it make it for you?
It was difficult, but at the same time, like you said, like jokingly helped. It could be kind of considered a blessing in disguise in certain circumstances, just because if this all was not going on and their players were on campus and they were going through spring practices, they would not have had the time to talk with me on the phone so often. And I think it really helped to create really great relationships with these coaches while they had the time and I had the time. But like you were saying with virtual visits, like, yes, I was able to do plenty of virtual visits with other people. Like, it was very difficult not being able to get on campus, feel everything out, and see things, because it's important to get on campus. Because my mom always said to me, is like, it not like making a decision without seeing campus is like buying a car without driving it. You have to see if you fit. You have to see if you fit. But I was lucky enough that some of the schools that I really liked and felt connections with were semi close to home. So my parents and I were able to make trips to both Illinois and Indiana, just drive and walk around campuses.
How strange was that? Being on a college campus and it's almost like a ghost town.
Oh, it was really weird. Just like you said, ghost town's a perfect way of saying it, because yes, we went on beautiful days, but it kind of felt abandoned in some senses. Like, yes, there were people jogging through, there were some people on the lawn, but usually when you think of Big Ten college campuses, you think of 40,000 students, like just in a big bustle around. But it was weird not being able to see everything with people there.
Your relationship with the Northwestern staff, and I mean, everyone knows Pat Fitzgerald, local guy, Chicago area guy, went to Northwestern, has that connection. And what about the connection you have with Kurt Anderson? There's a guy that, Chicago prep standout when he was in high school. I mean, again, that Chicago, and especially with Kurt Anderson, a guy that was Glenbrook South guy. So, I've got to imagine you just really had to connect with those guys really early on.
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. Especially like you said, with the small connections that we have with each other, and they're just great people overall. And Coach Anderson and I, we were able to form a really, really great relationship. All sort of starting off from that visit I was able to make in early March, and we just kept in contact. And one of my favorite moments is we were texting each other back and forth during the draft, just kind of freaking out about what the Bears were doing, not drafting an offensive lineman. But it's a great relationship. And also Coach Fitz he's great. Like, I have not talked to him as much as I've been talking with Coach Anderson throughout this entire process, but his his reputation of everything that people say about him is 100% true. He's a very genuine person, and everything he says is exactly everything you hear, and everything he says is exactly what you're going to get. And I really like that about Coach Fitz.
So were the parents leaning one way in particular when it came to a school? Did they show their cards at all, or were they kind of cool about it?
I know my parents had their own opinions. They did not share them with me, which I'm happy about, because it's hard. And they themselves said, yes, we could think a school's better for you. We might like it more, but it's ultimately your decision. And I'm happy they were able to do that and not really kind of change everything. So it was nice that they kind of, like you said, kept the cards close to the vest and not really shared their own personal opinions and tried to sway me either way or any way.
The pressures with recruiting and, going through this process, and then not even mentioning, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to finish high school from home and online and all this other stuff. How much pressure was there? Did it get to a point where you're starting to think, hey, I just want to get this over with, or were you able to kind of balance everything?
Yes, I was getting some pressure at certain times, but luckily not a lot. And yes, I was able to balance everything, which was nice because schools and coaches really understood that this is a really unprecedented time. Like my head coach, Coach Purdy, said to me, he said, "You have been and probably will be the only recruiting class that will be recruited during a worldwide pandemic."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, really unprecedented times. And luckily, a lot of coaches really understood that and understood, like, hey, this is a hard decision. You haven't gotten the opportunity to visit campus. Some coaches even said, like, if you want to commit, you can't commit until, like, you come out and see. Well, not you can't, but we would prefer you come out and see us before you actually make that decision because it might not be the place for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So now you're done. Now you can enjoy the rest of your summer in lockdown like the rest of us. Although I guess tomorrow things lighten up a little bit, which will be nice. So
Yes,
you
sir.
have you have a football season you're ready for. I know you're starting to slowly work back with your team. Um, I mean, just your thoughts, your personal thoughts, getting ready, going into a season. You've got the college decision put aside. I mean, what can we expect to see out of you in 2020 that maybe we didn't see out of 2019?
You're going to see a bigger, stronger Jackson who's going to be trying to get college ready. I have been, but I'm at the point now, which is it's the most weight I'm going to want to try to put on before I get to college, just to keep that strong movement and that flexibility and athleticism. You're gonna see me at the biggest I've ever been, the meanest I've ever been, and I want to be ready to go knock some heads off, especially not being able to do anything this summer, and just try to make my teammates look better who are trying to go on to the next level and have not really had many opportunities presented to them yet at this point.
You know, I hate to tell you, you're not the only Division I commit in your senior class at Glenbrook North. You know,
Yes, sir.
you've got a pretty nice senior class, and just talk about what you got coming back. It looks like you guys could be primed for another good season.
Yes, sir. I think we're going to be primed to go. We have a good running back coming off season-ending injury last year before we even started. Yes, we do lose Mike Siss, who's a heck of a runner. Excuse me. But yeah, we have receiver coming. We have 2 receivers. We have Drayton, all-state commit, so big tight end. Got our quarterback, of course. You can't be without that. And luckily for us, we actually maybe not luckily, but we had a small senior class that graduated, and we had a lot of juniors taking over those positions. So we'll get a lot of guys coming back, former starters, and we've got some good guys that are going to be seniors that can step up, and even to be juniors that are getting ready to step up. Also, people that are coming back from injury, and especially with Coach Purdy kind of getting settled in with that head coaching job, I think he'll be primed to do great things.
A lot of people got you to where you're at. When you make a decision like this, I'm sure you can't help but think about some of those people that help you get to this point. Who are some of those people? Maybe outside of your parents that people maybe don't know as much or as well. Who are some of the people that kind of helped you get to this point?
Well, yes, you said not so much your parents, but I have to say my parents, of course. Like my dad was my first football coach, and when I was a little kid, I hated sports. I'm going to put it that way, which is really strange. And they pushed me to do sports, and I loved it, and I'm so happy. But that they're probably the biggest. But I also have to say my sisters. They've been unbelievable throughout all this process, always pushing me to be the best person I can be. My sister Sam and Brecken, they've been unbelievable, especially with their patience throughout all of this. And
Older or younger?
Sam is older. She's older than I am. Always kind of push me. Always maybe try to get a little tougher. And then my younger sister Brecken is just always getting on me and trying to help me get better as well, and vice versa. We're always trying to do our best. And another person is definitely Coach Purdy. He's been unbelievable, helping me just get better as a player and just helping me throughout this entire recruiting process. He's been in my high council, as I say it, with him and my parents, and they've just overall been unreal. And especially also just every coach has helped me throughout all of GBN and my junior Spartan career. That's helped make me a better player overall.
It's awesome. Again, just congratulations. Love talking to you. You always picked up the phone whenever we called and I called. And again, just love to see kids get their dream offer and make it happen. So go out, have a great senior year. And You don't go away now. I'm still going to check in on you from time to time, but you know,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
rooting
Thank
for
you.
you this year, and just congratulations, and tell your family I said congrats as well. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so, so much.
All right, Jackson Carsello, Glenbrook North High School, latest commit to the Northwestern Wildcat class of 2021.